haven't done anything in this new genre, like outside of CCM or gospel
Uh-huh.
in Spanish. So this will be sort of my initial foray into that
Wow.
world with this genre. So
Well, I noticed when we were doing the Spagattini gig, it was basically a jazz quartet behind you and you singing standards. And what I found to be so incredible about it was I knew about your past and I didn't really know that you were, kind of transitioning into singing jazz, Great American Songbook stuff and your jazz originals. And then I made the discovery of hearing your voice. It sounded so familiar and it was so unique and so cool. And then I thought, well, wait a minute, this vocal tone has been copied by everybody. It's been copied by Miley Cyrus and Ariana Grande and Katy Perry and all of these people. And, when we chatted briefly before that gig, I was curious as to how you felt about kind of having your sound just stolen by all these younger people because I think they just and there's no copyright laws for things like that.
right, it's
You
true.
can't. I mean, if they take your lyrics, then that's easily proven. But you can't really go into a courtroom and say, well, this person sounds like me, and
Right.
I want half of all of Katy Perry's stuff, which is in a fair world. That's if I was Judge Mullins in the Laguna Hills courthouse, I would immediately give you like $150 million
Thank you. Thank you,
because
Rob.
your sound is, I call it source. Your sound is source. It's nobody before you sounded like you, and all these people sound like you now. And I just want to acknowledge that my musical ears. I make my living with my ears. And I just noticed that right away about you. I mean, do you have any stories about interacting with any of these thieves that are?
Well, first of all, I would not deign to call them thieves, I guess.
Oh, they're
Um,
thieves. They stole it. They
it's,
stole
you
it.
know, you have to, I guess, get comfortable with the whole old adage of what is it that copying is not copying. What's the word I'm looking for?
Oh yeah, I know
It's
that
like
saying that you're thinking about
the highest form of flattery, is
imitation is the
imitation.
yeah.
Yes. Um,
Yeah, but they're doing
I
it so well that it's like wrong. I mean, I'm drinking coffee and I'm feeling my manliness. I'm like, I'm gonna go to Orange County and sue somebody today. What the heck?
Hey,
But really,
I mean,
you're
I've heard a story. I heard a story when I was on Roundhouse on the
okay.
Nickelodeon show. But like I said, we were filming in Orlando at
Mhm.
Universal, and obviously Walt Disney World was across town.
Right.
And at that time we were filming in 92.
All right.
So we were there in, I believe, like December, January, filming our pilot. And then we were there all summer and into the fall. We all, as a cast, moved from LA to Orlando and lived there all together.
Amazing.
I mean, seriously, one of the greatest times of my life. So the Mickey Mouse Club, the new Mickey Mouse Club, which at that time in that year was Justin Timberlake, Christina
Britney.
Aguilera, Britney Spears, all these other people. Supposedly, and I have this on very good authority, so I'm not making this up. This was told to me that they would come and secretly watch our rehearsals because
Mm-hmm.
we were all quite a bit older than them. I
Uh,
was 21. I think there was one girl on our cast that was 17, but everybody else was 20s and up. So those kids were all young teenagers. And
wow.
so they would come and basically spy on us and watch our rehearsals because we were the big kids. We were the big kids,
Oh, so
doing the
that's
stuff.
how they.
And
That's how they did it.
our show was written by the head writer for In Living. It was created and written by the head writer for In Living Color. So we
Wow.
were edgy. We did a lot of like pretty on the edge dancing and lots of singing. And man, it was a really unique, super cool show. And so later, of course, in life, to find out that they were watching us, and those girls who wanted to make their living as a singer, I was the person that they were watching and interviewing,
So
and
they,
didn't know that at the time. But
so it wasn't really like a mentoring situation because, in my world, I've always been a music teacher. And so people would come to me and say, well, I just, heard this song or that song and the other song, and I want to learn to play like, piano player XYZ and jazz or smooth jazz. And I'd say, oh, I remember when that person stole all of my identities. And then they watered it all down and put it on the wave. And then, it was just like every song sounded like a Rob Mullen song, but none of them were written by me. Like, the music business is kind of crazy. But I guess Britney Spears was maybe one of the first people to kind of steal your stuff. And you know how sneaky young kids are. Like, they're not going to give up the credit. They're going to just say, go to your rehearsal, watch you, sneak off on their own, try and sing all your stuff. And then they're going to present it to the network like, hey, look at this brand new thing that I just came up with.
I mean, to be fair, I definitely don't think Britney Spears sounds anything like me. But Christina Aguilera, I could see maybe a little bit more of that. But I mean, I don't fault them for whatever, for looking for whatever it is. I will say that there are people like Katy Perry has been wonderful. Kelly Clarkson, let's see who else, T-Boz from TLC. There have been a lot of people, Tori Kelly, who have made it very clear that I was an influence to them. And they have mentioned me in countless interviews and all kinds of stuff like that. And I think it is very flattering, and I'm very honored that they all seem to find their own way and just kind of acknowledge, where their influences came from. So I'm very grateful.
They do all that after they've made like, $500 million and you're like raising your family, So.
Well, hey, I had a great career up until 2008. I had, we started our own label in 92 and, had a really, really wonderful go of things for a long time. So I chose the path that I chose at that time. And I don't, like I said before, I don't look back with regret or, any kind of negativity on the path that I was so fortunate to be able to walk.
Cool.
Just making different choices now, as I move forward. So,
the thing that was so impressive, and